Hello, my name is Veronica, and welcome to the Learning Lab, episode 22, more Cuttlebug holiday folders, but this time the large ornament one. Have a lot to share with you this time, so come on into the lab and let's get started. So in this segment, I'd like to draw your attention to that very large 5x7 Cuttlebug holiday ornaments folder, and that's what it looks like when you run it through on just the white. But of course I couldn't leave well enough alone, and I ran it through with some Memento ink dabbed into the negative side of the Cuttlebug folder, and here's what I got. This beautiful, stunning, colorful card. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me zoom out a bit so you can see all of it. And there it is in all its glory. I loved it. So of course, since I already had it inked, instead of washing that ink away, I thought to myself, what would happen if I ran it through again? So I did, and here are the results. The same colors as from the previous one, but not as intense. And this would be great for a brand new baby celebrating Christmas for the first time. So of course I ran it through on my black paper just to see what I would get, and that's it. Actually looks quite nice. But one thing I do want to draw your attention to is this ornament. Has a tendency to rip in the folder regardless pretty much of what paper I use. So bear that in mind if you're using some really fibrous paper. This part might tear. So you may want to cut a circle and place it over that part of the Cuttlebug just so that it doesn't emboss as deeply. But a stunning black and white card. So of course then I went to a bunch of different little techniques, and I'm going to come back in closer for that. Just like people have their gypsy, I take my Cuttlebug on the go. A bag stays with me at all times with some of my wonderful secure markers, and so I just went through playing with each one to see what am I going to get that I'm going to fall in love with and want to use that all over my card. And one thing that struck me was that beautiful orange. I love the way that turned out. I was excited about this green, this particular green, this blue I thought would look good, but what really got me was this black and white. So I thought, if I take this and brayer over it, instead of running it through the Cuttlebug that way, I can get the nice raised image and have the black only hit the raised spot. So I want to share with you just how I did that. This is the folder that I used. I've already run that through the Cuttlebug and gotten my embossed image. So I'm going to use my gigantic black Inkadikado pad and my brayer, and I'm going to use that to color, ink up my brayer simply by rolling it back and forth until I get a nice saturation of color. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm now going to my card. Ready for the magic? Let's see. And I'm only going to do half just to show the contrast that you're going to get from this. But I think it's beautiful. And then working on my craft mat really does help. But I am just enamored and fascinated with this already. And you can keep going and going until you get the desired saturation that you want. But look at this. You know what? This would be a great card. Tie a piece of black and white ribbon to separate the two. I think that's what I'm going to do. I am going to continue to finish inking the bottom of this card so I can wind up with something absolutely delicious. Oh, playing is so much fun. You gotta love it. This is it. I just grabbed up this red velveteen ribbon with the snowflakes on it because it was handy, but something with ornaments on it, a big luscious white velveteen bow wrapped around there, or a black velveteen bow. And then if you take one of your holiday ornaments, spritz it, and use it with the iron in that velveteen, oh my goodness. Next year maybe I'll do my set of cards like that, and then I can have an ornament embossed ribbon to go around my ornaments card. Whew. Then after that, I went to another set of my Sakura pins. This one at the very top corner is opaque. I like the way it turned out, a little more raised. This was pretty. I thought this was stunning with just a glossy yellow sitting there. This one was absolutely darling. And if you're seeing some of the stardust down there, especially in the tree, I thought that was beautiful. Yellow was great, going all the way down. But what really got me was this one. Wasn't particularly crazy about what I did with it there, but I loved that orangey color, and I thought I've got to do something with that. And that transformed itself into this card. Let's back out a little bit. I thought this was absolutely stunning. And yes, that is an acetate ornament on top, on which I stamped my greeting. I cut that ornament from the Cricut Winter collection of the Very Merry Tags Cricut mini cart. And you probably can't see this, but here is the ornament that I cut out. I then went back and used something I had laying around from one of my quick cut dies. I put that underneath, and coming back in a little closer for you, I placed that underneath, and I took my Sakura marker, the same orange that I used, and went around those little swirly spots to give me that same repeat pattern onto my ornament. And if I lift that up, you can see it there. I thought that was stunning. So each one of these got that little orange glaze treatment. I then took it and went all around the edge with that same Quick Cuts die using my Quick Cuts tool. I was able to just get the edges, and then I did it also on the back of the orange card and wrapped my ribbon around so that it went onto the inside. And I think that makes for a very lovely, stunning card. And this way you can make it any color you want. All blue, red, pink, yellow, purple, silver. Go to your heart's content. So then I thought to myself, what would this look like if I played with it on some glossy cardstock? So I did just that. I used this glossy cardstock, and again, I had to be careful with this part in here. I went around it with two of the Tim Holtz Distress ink, the peeled paint, and I tried to do a resist technique with the angel on the back. She didn't show up as well. She's an Inkadikadu angel, so I stamped her out on some green paper and embossed her with some of the Ranger red embossing tinsel and added some lovely Skittles around there. And I thought it turned out very well. And I'll just take that entire card and mat that onto some red, stamp my greeting at the bottom, and she's ready to go. Isn't she lovely? Okay, on to the very last thing I did, which was I wanted to do some Glimmer Mist. So I sprayed this with Glimmer Mist, then went back with my chalk on the inside just to see what I could get. This can still be used on your scrapbooking page. How, you might ask? Well, take some decorative edge scissors and just cut between each column, and you can use those to go along the edge of your page, or you can cut between each row and take those and just string them together like lights and have those decorate your page. Thank you so much for joining me in the lab today. Had a great time as we took another look at one of the Cuttlebug holiday folders, and just to share with you some of the wonderful things that you can create. Please remember to visit my blog where you can find more ideas and inspiration. Until then,